almost quitting the Harry Potter franchise, the horrible 18th birthday surprise she got, receiving a series of threats. These are just a few tragic details about beloved actress and activist Emma Watson. As of 2022, Emma Watson has a reported net worth of $85 million, according to CelebrityNetWorth.com. An estimated $70 million of that came from the Harry Potter franchise, while the other $15 million came from the live-action Beauty and the Beast. Yet despite having enough money to comfortably get by for a lifetime, things weren't always so cushy for Watson. In a behind-the-scenes interview for the Harry Potter DVD set, the actress revealed that there was a time when her family struggled financially while she was growing up. Money was so tight at one point that her birthday presents consisted of supplies for the costly school she attended. As she recounted, "My dad really couldn't afford to send me to the school. At the time, we just didn't have the money." Watching the effort that her father made was enough to keep Watson focused and dedicated to her studies. As she put it, "I worked hard every single day that I was at that school to make him proud of me and for him to know that I appreciated it. And I do, and I still do." When Watson found out that she was going to be playing Hermione Granger in Harry Potter, she was over the moon. She was only 9 years old when she was cast, but she was nevertheless fiercely independent from the start. She pretty much had to be. Her parents couldn't travel with her as she jetted from one location to the next as they kept their jobs. She recalled to GQ in 2013, "As my parents were divorced and they both worked full-time, I had to grow up quickly. I guess it made me quite a serious young person." Growing up in the spotlight and away from her family wasn't easy on Watson. As she recalled to British Vogue in 2022, "There's been moments when everything just got so big, where I almost had vertigo on my own life. I felt disconnected." Furthermore, Watson isn't exactly happy with all the attention that comes with fame, and she feels bad that she feels that way. As she explained to British Vogue, "I've sat in therapy and felt really guilty about it, to be honest. Like, why me? Somebody else would have enjoyed and wanted this aspect of it more than I did. And I've struggled a lot with the guilt around that. I'm like, I should be enjoying this a lot more. I should be more excited, and I'm actually really struggling." It got so intense for Watson that she almost left acting for good. As she put it to Vanity Fair in 2017, "I was finding this fame thing was getting to a point of no return. I sensed if this was something I was ever going to step away from, it was now or never."
Just needed a change.
Emma Watson spent about a decade of her life making the Harry Potter movies. That might sound like a totally magical experience from the outside, but she didn't always enjoy being tied down. As she once admitted, "I felt like a prisoner of Hogwarts during the Harry Potter films, and I nearly quit at 16. She ultimately didn't quit, of course, but she was certainly ready to move on once the series ended. As she told Entertainment Weekly in 2010, "I have such a structure when I'm working on Potter. I get told what time I get picked up, I get told what time I can eat, when I have time to go to the bathroom." Watson decided to celebrate the end of her Hogwarts era by chopping off all her hair into an easy-to-manage pixie cut. As she explained to Marie Claire in 2010, "It was quite symbolic for me. It's really liberating that I can walk out without thinking about it."
You have a perfect head, by the way.
Wow, you know what? I don't know if I've ever heard that before.
No, your skull is lovely.
Watson's experience in the spotlight was significantly different than that of her two main Harry Potter co-stars, Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint, especially in terms of how she was inappropriately sexualized. In a 2014 interview with the Associated Press, Radcliffe brought up a conversation he had with someone who said that it was unconventional that he went from Harry Potter to romantic lead. As he recalled, "My immediate response was the male population has had no problem sexualizing Emma Watson immediately." And based on how Watson herself tells it, Radcliffe wasn't exaggerating. During a conversation with Forrest Whitaker during the He for She Arts Week in 2016, she revealed, "I remember on my 18th birthday, I came out of my birthday party and photographers laid down on the pavement and took photographs up my skirt, which were then published on the front of the English tabloid newspapers the next morning. If they had published the photographs 24 hours earlier, they would have been illegal, but because I had just turned 18, they were legal."
That's just one example of how my transition into womanhood was dealt very differently by the tabloid press.
Because of all the sexism she's endured, Watson now uses her platform to educate people about feminism. In 2014, for example, she launched the He for She initiative, which strives for gender equality across the globe. While filming the Harry Potter series, Emma Watson formed deep bonds with her castmates, particularly Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Tom Felton. As she noted to Interview magazine in 2009, "I love them, but I need to see other friends off set. They're like my siblings now." Even though she grew close to her fellow Hogwarts students, there were times when she felt like she was on an island. She opened up about this experience during the Harry Potter 20th anniversary Return to Hogwarts special, saying she could see at times she was lonely. Watson's co-stars were quick to praise her for how she handled all of the pressure that she endured. As Felton, for one, put it, "People definitely forget what she took on and how gracefully she did it. Dan and Rupert, they had each other." You might assume that being a global superstar requires a certain level of social ease, but as it turns out, there are many celebrities who are actually quite reserved and don't always feel comfortable at big events. That's certainly the case for Emma Watson. As she admitted during an interview with Wonderland, "The truth is that I'm genuinely a shy, socially awkward, introverted person. At a big party, I'm like Bambi in the headlights." Thus, it must have been difficult for Watson when she was obligated to attend cast parties and other social gatherings throughout her career. Her preference for alone time doesn't come as much of a surprise when you consider that she's never been much of a party girl. In a 2013 interview with Rookie, she revealed that it took her a while to recognize that preferring to stay home is totally okay. As she put it, "I had felt like, oh my god, there must be something wrong with me because I don't want to go out and do what all my friends want to do." But of course, there was nothing wrong with her. She just needed time to recharge. While attending red carpet premieres for Harry Potter, Emma Watson went through something like an out-of-body experience. She remembered standing in front of a mirror at various events only to feel as if she was looking at a stranger. As she recalled to Vanity Fair in 2017, "I had on so much makeup and these big, fluffy, full-on dresses, I'd put my hands on the sink and look at myself in the mirror and say, 'Who is this?' I didn't connect with the person who was looking back at me, and that was a very unsettling feeling." Watson also talked about grappling with being a celebrity as well as being forever linked to a beloved fictional character. In a 2022 chat with British Vogue, she said, "I played a symbol. I know this because she's a symbol for me. I'm not Hermione Granger, and I'm also not what, weirdly, my name has come to mean. Even people that are really close to me sometimes can't let it go or see just me. And then sometimes I have to go, no, I need exactly what you need. I'm just as human as you are. I'm just as insecure as you are. I struggle just as much as you struggle."
10 years. You were pretty much nonstop working on those films.
Exactly. So it's nice to have a breather.
If it's not clear already, confidence issues can impact anybody, including A-listers. That's right, even the actor who played the Beauty in Beauty and the Beast has struggled with her self-esteem. As Watson admitted to Esquire UK in 2016, "I, as a 21-year-old, was riddled with insecurity and self-critiquing. I realized that I didn't like friends taking photos of me when I wasn't working, and I actually got in a fight about this issue." Watson's insecurities began at a young age. When she was a kid, she didn't like her eyebrows, which might sound shocking considering just how iconic they look now. Ultimately, though, Watson eventually had something of an epiphany and stopped picking herself apart every time she wasn't in full glam. As she put it, "Ironically, it's probably made me more beautiful and more confident as a result because I'm not carrying that anxiety anymore. I don't think it's weird anymore that I don't look like myself on the cover of a magazine." Emma Watson now knows that it's perfectly fine to be single at any age, but that doesn't mean that she didn't have to deal with a lot of stress over her relationship status, or lack thereof, when she turned 30. Even though she'd already achieved so much in her life by that milestone, a fear of inadequacy still loomed large. As she admitted to British Vogue in 2019, "If you have not built a home, if you do not have a husband, if you do not have a baby, and you are turning 30 and you're not in some incredibly secure, stable place in your career, or you're still figuring things out, there's just this incredible amount of anxiety." But rather than allow those societal expectations to bring her down, Watson embraced where she was at in her life. As she explained, "It took me a long time, but I'm very happy being single. I call it being self-partnered."
I'm so happy people feel empowered by my stressful moment. It's great.
Although Watson made peace with being on her own, her relationship status has reportedly since changed. As People magazine noted in November 2020, she's been linked to a businessman named Leo Robinton. Rumblings of a love connection began in April of that year, although they were actually first spotted out and about back in October 2019. Emma Watson has been able to use her platform to get her feminist message out to millions, but she's also experienced a ton of hateful blowback. But just like her most famous character, she has enough brains to know that this was bound to happen. Nevertheless, that didn't exactly make it any easier to get through. In 2014, Watson delivered her He for She speech, in which she addressed issues regarding gender inequality. 2 years later, she then talked about the intense response she received following that speech. As she revealed to a crowd at the 2016 One Young World Summit, "My best hopes and my worst fears were confirmed all at once. I had opened Pandora's box to a standing ovation and almost simultaneously a level of critique I had never experienced in my life, and the beginning of what would become a series of threats." No matter how bad it got, though, Watson never wanted to quit her activism work. As she put it during a Q&A at Facebook headquarters in London in 2017, "If anything, it made me so much more determined. I was just raging. It made me so angry that I was just like, this is why I have to be doing this." If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, please contact the Crisis Text line by texting HOME to 741-741, call the National Alliance on Mental Illness helpline at 1-800-950-NAMI 6264, or visit the National Institute of Mental Health website.